Brother lads, welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. Arsenal are looking to sign their second signing of the summer after agreeing a deal with Ricardo Calafiori. So in this video, we dive into who is going to be Arsenal's second signing of the summer, why Victor Gyökeres and Victor Osimhen are far away from signing for Arsenal than you think. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and let's dive into Arsenal's second signing of this summer. Now let's start off with Victor Gyökeres. Is a big name into this Arsenal window. Arsenal want a striker, they want a centre forward, but the profile of striker we are looking for is very far away from Victor Gyökeres. Now according to Sky Sports, Arsenal are looking for a striker who is a little bit young. They're looking for a profile between age 21 and 22, possibly 23, someone who's not very old. So the idea is to bring in someone who can compete with Kai Havertz, but not throw him out of the starting 11 right away. Victor Gyökeres, obviously having that experience, scoring a lot of goals, he's got that, aura to come in and throw Kai Havertz out of the starting 11. I think Victor Gyökeres to Arsenal right now is very far away. Second and foremost, of course, is that price, 100 million euros. Arsenal would love to do this deal, according to Romano, and they would love to get a player like Gyökeres, but the 100 million is something Arsenal are not looking to come closer to or even spend this summer. So Gyökeres, unless the price comes down, he's not going to be our second signing of the summer. And like I've said always, I think this is a deal that happens in August. If it's going to happen as, maybe Sporting realize Arsenal are not going to pay a lot of money. Chelsea are not going to pay a lot of the money. And then they start coming down on their demands. At the moment, 80 million pounds, 100 million euros, that is a no for Arsenal. The next one on the list is Victor Osimhen, and the situation on Victor Osimhen is not changing. Arsenal still believe that they still want a young striker also, but the price for Victor Gyökeres and Osimhen are very steep. 120 million euros for Victor Osimhen. I don't see that happen right now. I think what Arsenal are going to do right now is easy deals and also achievable deals. 50 million euros, 60 million euros, 40 million euros, around there. That's why the Ricardo Calafiori deal has been very quick. With Osimhen, I think there are more problems to the player and the deal than just the price. Of course, it's very expensive. Arsenal, I don't think will pay that. But even when it comes to discipline, it comes to the character, it comes to the injury record, and it comes to other factors that Arsenal could consider to sign Osimhen. I think it's a deal that's a little bit far away. We have been told that Osimhen is uncoachable. Osimhen is has a bad character. Obviously, people from Nigeria know better, and they've told us that he's a guy you don't want closer to your dressing room. So Osimhen and Victor Gyökeres, however much I would love them to be our second signings, however much I would love them to be the strikers we sign, these are deals that Arsenal are currently very far away from. Next on the list is Nico Williams, and of course Williams is a player that Arsenal have made priority. If they're going to sign a winger this summer, they're going to start with Nico Williams, and that is why, despite the fact that all these other wingers, Chiesa, they're not at the Euros, Arsenal are reluctant to go and make a bid for them. Arsenal could make a bid for Chiesa, they could make a bid for Bakayoko, they could make a bid for anyone, Rafinha, but at the moment, the number one priority for Arsenal, if they decide to sign a winger, it's going to be Nico Williams. It is Nico Williams that Mikel Arteta wants. It's Nico Williams that Edu as well and the people around the project have approved. The problem with this deal is the Euros, first and foremost, of course. Spain did progress against Germany in a very good game, and that means that Nico Williams is going to continue being in Germany and being at the Euros for quite some time. So we have told that he's a player that doesn't want to discuss any personal or transfer related issues at the moment, focusing on the semi-finals there when we take on when we take on France. So at the moment, this one is a very difficult deal. Now, I would love to see Nico Williams be our second signing of the summer, because as time drags on, Barcelona are making themselves better. They're selling, they're doing a couple of good things, and eventually they might actually come and sign him right in August. So I would have loved him to be our second signing, get it done quickly, but it cannot be done quickly. It's one that has to, wait for the Euros to end. And secondly, this is not a very easy deal. The wages of the player, he's earning 200,000 at Atletico Bilbao, and of course, Atletico Bilbao can afford to give him 200 because they don't have so many players on that, at that level. With Arsenal, you have around 5 or 6 players already earning 200 plus. You don't want to stretch the wage bill just like that. So at the moment, it looks like Nico Williams, again, however much I would love him to be our next signing, he is not going to be Arsenal's next signing. The Euros are still in the way, and even if it's not for that, the salary is going to take some time, and Arsenal might actually be forced to look somewhere else. Joshua Kimmich is the next one, and this one we can rule him out right on the spot. We've been told that Arsenal are not looking to sign Joshua Kimmich this summer, despite the fact that it's not Arsenal's mystery player that is signing from Germany. Arsenal are not even considering signing him. They're looking for someone younger, a younger profile, someone who's a little bit electric, energetic, and has got more years to his game. So when you look at Kimmich, Partey, and Jorginho, Mikel Arteta feels like all these guys are in the same age bracket, and maybe when Kimmich comes in, he might start picking up the injuries. The likes of Thomas Partey, the likes of Jorginho have started picking up. So Kimmich to Arsenal at the moment, really, really unlikely to be our next signing. But I tell you, I would love him to be our next signing. I would love Kimmich to be the next player Arsenal sign. I just don't see it happen at the moment. I just don't see him as the next project that lands at the Emirates Stadium. However, I won't be surprised if Arsenal maybe in August reach out to Kimmich to have a few talks about him signing on a free next summer as a free agent. He'll be 30 by then. But right now he's earning 20 million a year. Arsenal might want to stay away from that. So Kimmich to Arsenal at the moment, again, not your next signing, especially if we are to be realistic as well. Next one is Amadou Onana. This one is one I would keep my eyes on. This one I would keep my eyes very, very open on Amadou Onana. Now, the reason is he's away from the Euros, just like the likes of Kimmich and the other players we've talked about. Belgium were dumped out of the Euros, and their story ends. Their story is is over. But that is not the most important part. The most important part here is that Amadou Onana has been scouted by Arsenal for a long time. Number one, there's been some groundwork that has been done by Arsenal towards Everton. And secondly, the player is open to moving to Arsenal, and also Everton are open to selling. So when you think about this deal, it gives you the Ricardo Carafiori deals. It gives you the vibes of we have a willing seller, we have a willing buyer, and we also have a player that is willing to move to Arsenal. So this is a deal that Arsenal can afford 100%. 50 million pounds, that's going to come down, I'm sure. But even if it doesn't, Arsenal really have the money to spend on Amadou Onana. If they really feel he is the right project, if they feel like he's the right prospect, they have the money. They have the 50 million to spend on this guy. Now, when you think about the other players we want in the position, Mikel Moreno is another interesting one. But Mikel Moreno is still at the Euros with Spain. And maybe Arsenal will look at Onana as an opportunity. Mikel Moreno maybe doesn't want to even join us. We don't know what came out of the phone interview with Mikel Arteta. Martin Zubimendi doesn't want to join us. That much we know. So Amadou Onana is one I would keep my eyes on. And secondly, Arsenal are no longer linked with so many players in this position. That is something you've got to you've got to notice. When we were signing Ricardo Calafiori, all the links about Jared Branthwaite, about Fadi Kadioglu, all those links died down. And that showed you that Arsenal had zeroed in into that one player that they think he is the one. And I think Amadou Onana, for Mikel Arteta, he is the one. We have been told that an ex-CEO at Everton was told that Arsenal had done some good work, and he sees Amadou Onana as the one that would leave Everton this summer and not Jared Branthwaite. So Everton would prefer to sell Onana over Branthwaite. Everton think he's valued at 50 million, and they also think that clubs like Arsenal are very much interested, and a deal could be done. So Everton have to sell, Onana has to move, Arsenal have to buy. This is a deal that benefits all parties, so I would keep my eyes very open on this deal. Next on the list, apart from Amadou Onana, is your boy, John Garcia. Now, with John Garcia, this is not our next signing. This is not our second signing. And the reason as to why Garcia is not our second signing, Ramsdale. So today we've covered a story, from Sky Sports confirming that Aaron Ramsdale wants to be kept by Arsenal want to keep Aaron Ramsdale at the side unless he pushes for first team, game time. They would send him out on loan. So the situation with Aaron Ramsdale is gonna drag on. First and foremost, he is at the Euros. That means that if England go through against Switzerland today, which is highly unlikely, but if they go through, it means his future is not sorted until maybe 15th of this month, or even 16th of this month, or even 20th of this month. There are no real offers for Aaron Ramsdale at the moment, right? Unless Arsenal get a substantial offer, I don't see Ramsdale just living like that. Unless Arsenal get an offer, a very good offer, maybe a loan with an option to buy, a loan with an obligation to buy, maybe, right? I don't see him leave quickly. So Garcia's deal to Arsenal is one that's going to take some time. It's going to drag on and drag on and drag on and drag on until we can find a very good replacement for the player, right? Until we can find a good destination for Aaron Ramsdale. Next one is Eberechi Eze. Eze is a player. Again, I would keep my eyes very open on the Eberechi Eze deal. Mikel Arteta loves the player, but what's also very important is, according to reliable sources, Team News Antiques and also Charles Watts, everyone at Arsenal loves Eberechi Eze. Everyone at Arsenal believes Eberechi Eze is a good fit and a very good player. Now, again, this is a deal that depends on many things, right? One, he's still at the Euros with England. I know by now you know. And secondly, apart from him being at the Euros, Emil Smith-Rowe and Fabio Vieira, their future determines Eberechi Eze. I don't see Mikel Arteta adding Eze to Emil Smith-Rowe, to Fabio Vieira, and also to Ethan Nwaneri, who wants a lot of game time next season. Of course, he's not going to get a lot of game time, but Ethan Nwaneri is there as well, right? So if ESR leaves, 100% Eze comes in for me. If Fabio Vieira leaves, 100% Eze is going to come in. But that means that Arsenal have to offload either Emil Smith-Rowe or Vieira. I don't think that's gonna happen quickly. I think Arsenal, in terms of our selling, we are not the best club. We are not the best club in terms of selling players and giving you the right amount of getting the right amount of money for players within a very short period of time. So Eberechi Eze, this is a deal that I could see progress on again in July. Even after the Euros, I could see it progress. But at the moment, it's one that would take some time after the Euros, but also just to get Emil Smith-Rowe and Fabio Vieira out of the door. Next one is Johan Bakayoko. Now, with Johan Bakayoko, I wouldn't say keep your eyes on this one, but I'm saying he's a very good alternative to Nico Williams. So the difference Bakayoko and Williams is very expensive. He's going to cost you in excess of 58 million euros. Now, Bakayoko could cost you around 50 million euros net, right? Now, both of them are really bargains. Like Bakayoko, 50 million euros, that's a good bargain. Nico Williams, 58 million euros, that's a very good bargain. But why Bakayoko is a better deal than Nico Williams? Williams wants Barcelona. He's going to wait for them. He wants a lot of wages. That's abnormal. And the price as well, Bakayoko is cheaper. So Arsenal could look at this Bakayoko deal as this boy is not going to start every game anyway. He's going to be a backup for Saka. So spending 45 million euros on him, that's actually sensible. Now, for a backup, he's not going to ask for 200,000 a week. He's going to ask maybe 110,000, 120,000 a week. That is also sensible. But then remember, Bakayoko is off the Euros, so he's free to sign for Arsenal right now. And that's a deal that could progress quickly as compared to Nico Williams. So for me, Johan Bakayoko's deal has big potential of happening, quicker and faster than Nico Williams. The other deal I would keep my eyes open to is Federico Chiesa. Yeah, I know, I know. Most of you told me, Chiesa, injuries, Chiesa, you don't like him, you want Nico, you want Nico. But in the market, at times you don't get what you want. At times you get what you need. Or at times you get what you don't want and don't need. Yeah, Arsenal have done that before. Like, no Tavares, we have done those. But Federico Chiesa, he, he's in the same position as Leandro Trossard. Arsenal don't have him as first priority, but he's available. Remember, Arsenal wanted Mikhailo Modric as first priority. But then when Trossard became available and Mikhailo Modric became unavailable to sign for Arsenal, we quickly switched from Mikhailo Modric to Leandro Trossard. So I can see Arsenal move from all these little brats that we want to sign and move to a more mature, calm-headed, player like Chiesa. For 25 million euros, that is an opportunity, guys. That is an opportunity. But all these deals obviously depend on our ability to sell, our ability to negotiate, deals for our players that we don't need. Vieira has to go, maybe. Emil Smith-Rowe has to go, maybe. Partey has to go, maybe. ESR has to go, maybe. But for me, if you ask me, because who's going to be our second signing? I'm going to say it's going to be a midfielder. That is the area Mikel Arteta really prioritizes. Every single time we've talked about this channel, it is defense, midfield, defense, midfield. So I think after signing a defender, it's going to be a midfielder this time. And I'm going to go and lock in Amadou Onana. I think Amadou Onana will be Arsenal's second signing of the summer.